welcome you guys to a new segment on my channel. This is going to be a comic book entertainment news segment I'm going to do bi-weekly on my channel. I ran a poll on my Twitter whether you guys wanted this to be Marvel 1 week and then alternate, and then I would do it weekly, and it'd be Marvel still every 2 weeks and then DC every 2 weeks. But you guys wanted it to be together, so this video is probably going to be really long, and if this doesn't work out, then I still might split it, but we'll see how, it kind of goes. But trying to do a weekly video might be a little bit too much, and I was going to say you don't know how much news there's going to be, but also, every 2 weeks there shouldn't be a lot of news. I keep up a little bit more with Marvel, so there is definitely going to be more Marvel news, but I do have DC news in here, so if you want, I'll insert time jumps if you want to just hear about DC or something in particular, then I will put that in there for you. Time codes will be down in the description box. We're going to go ahead and get started because I want to keep this moving as quickly as possible because this is going to be very long. So, first bit of news, and the most upcoming thing, is Captain Marvel. We have had 2 trailers, I think, at this point. And the Funko Pops just got released, and a lot of new merchandise is coming out. So there's a few things to talk about. I talked about in my Captain Marvel trailer breakdown a very long time ago, which thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I believe that Jude Law was not playing Mar-vell, that he was playing yon-rogg, and that was confirmed by merchandising. So they just ruined their own thing. So that's them. They ruined the surprise, but if you have been watching these types of videos, then you probably know that. So not really a spoiler if you're just looking at any sort of merchandise, but this happens all the time. I mean, we found out about Stormbreaker because of the toy sets that had come out for Avengers Infinity War, so there's no way to really prevent this. I mean, when they're going to start marketing Spider-Man Far From Home, there's no way to prevent the fact that Spider-Man is going to come back to life, so there's nothing they can really do about that. But yeah, as far as Captain Marvel, other Captain Marvel stuff, it's selling very well in pre-sales, so it was both Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War ahead of it, but that makes, I think it just makes sense. And I saw it was on track to get open at $140 million, so that would be awesome. I'm so excited to see it. A lot of the 7 o'clock showings of that night are sold out in New York, because I live in New York City, if you didn't know. They're sold out, and I'm going to the 10:15 in, I think, Dolby Cinema IMAX, so I'm very excited at Lincoln Square. It's going to be great. I'm going at 10:15 though, because, I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to be at this point, so very excited for that. And obviously stay tuned because there will definitely be a Captain Marvel vlog, but it will probably be the last one with my roommate Shannon because she's moving and I'm very sad, but that's for a different story. But stay tuned for that. I did the same thing for Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I think those are the only vlogs I have for the Marvel movies. I try to do them for the DC, and I just don't think to do them, because my Marvel videos do super well, but I've not done a DC video, so I wouldn't know if they've done well or not. Next up to talk about is Avengers Endgame. I struggle to say that out loud because I really don't like the title. So initially they had claimed that when the title was under wraps, that the Russos had said that the name had never been heard before, so you'd never heard it in a movie. Clearly they were messing with us because Endgame has been said twice. It's been said in Age of Ultron, and it's been said, obviously, by Doctor Strange, which I could have predicted that this was the title. I mean, multiple people said this because who has Endgame randomly in their vocabulary? It's not a common word to say, so I'm still very excited for it. I just don't like the title. I mean, I thought there were so many better title options, but it is what it is. I will just hold it down. It's fine, whatever. Kevin Feige's also gone on to say, he was asked, so he didn't specifically say that most of the footage that's going to be shown in trailers is going to be from the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film. I think this is pretty obvious from what they actually showed in the trailers. I mean, the Thanos, Thanos walking through the field as a farmer, because it's from the comics. The Avengers going through everything, who's died or who's missing, and Tony's part I feel are obviously at the beginning of the movie. A lot of people are like, oh my god, is Tony gonna die in space? He's the main guy? Like, he started the MCU. Why would they do that to him? I don't understand that. I don't think so. I don't have too many theories on this. To be honest, I haven't come up with a lot of stuff because I haven't really sat and thought about it. There's been so much stuff going on. We are getting into the crackdown time of both Marvel stuff and Game of Thrones, so it's just it's crazy. It's going to be literally Captain Marvel comes out in March and Endgame comes out the month after. So it's gonna be too much. I did see, though, there was a kind of a spoiler picture with Steve, and he had very glowy blue eyes, and then there was sparks behind him. So I don't know what that is all about because that looks very Quicksilver-esque, but I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna get the introduction of any of the X-Men or anything like that because they won't work out the deal yet. And I do think we'll get Kate Bishop, and I do think who's Hawkgirl, and I do think we will get Cassie Lang as she goes by Stinger. That's her name. I need to pay more attention. I'm sorry. But as far as Marvel movie news, that pretty much wraps it up. Also, Spider-Man Far From Home is rumored to have a trailer come out tomorrow. So if that happens, I will try my best to do a trailer breakdown on it because I couldn't when Endgame came out, I was in the middle of finals and I could not pull it together to do that. So I'll try to do one for Far From Home. And as for all the next trailers, I will try my best to get that up to you as soon as possible. If not, they'll be in my news segment, so you can see that. So moving on to Marvel TV news, there's a couple things to just go on the more positive note side. The Disney streaming service, I believe, is coming out this year, and the Loki series is set to come out at the end of the year, hopefully, as well. It'll launch with the streaming service. Apparently, Tom Hiddleston is not playing Loki. I mean, he is Loki, but they're going to have a younger actor play Loki, and Tom Hiddleston is going to narrate the series. Personally, I'm fine with that. I like Tom Hiddleston as Loki, but this could be a kind of an interesting take on the character. So I'm interested in that. And then there's the Scarlet Witch Vision series, which I don't really know what's going to happen in that, and I heard that it has a budget of $100 million, so that's a lot. They are putting a lot of money into this, and should be pretty good. Also, in other Marvel TV news, Punisher is set to drop this week, that on the 18th, so that's Friday. So we'll probably drop it Friday at 3 a.m. or so. I did not see the trailer yet. Sorry. But I will, when I post this next video, I will be putting in a review, and I'm sure it'll be very sad because I'm sure it's getting canceled. So, I loved the first season of The Punisher. I thought it was one of the better seasons of Marvel TV, but they canned Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil, and Punisher and Jessica Jones are coming out this year, but I think after that they're getting rid of them. But they have come out and said that they would like to use the characters for other things. The problem is they signed a contract with Netflix that they cannot use the characters until 2 years after the last season. So Daredevil came out in 2018? Oh my god, okay. So they couldn't use him until 2020. Which sucks, but in reality that's not that long away. I would love to see Team Red, but I don't see that being a Tom Holland Spider-Man thing, because I can't imagine Tom Holland Spider-Man with both Daredevil and Deadpool. I hope they keep Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter. I'm okay if they get rid of Mike Coulter and Finn Jones. Is his name Finn Jones? Wow. That's quite the name. I know it's hard to say, but I don't care. I didn't care for those characters that much, and if they want to like redo them, I liked Mike Coulter in Jessica Jones actually, but I didn't care for Luke Cage too much as its own show, and I'm a little nervous for Jessica Jones season 3 because season 2 to me was pretty bad. So, you know, we'll see how it goes, but like I don't know anything about the villain or anything like that. So I'll let you guys know about Punisher and we'll keep updated. So there will definitely be lots to talk about next time around, and I'm sure there will be a Spider-Man trailer by the next time we do this. In Marvel Netflix news, Daredevil was voted, got like the Rotten Tomatoes award for Best TV Series, which it was. Daredevil season 3, it was season 3, right? Daredevil season 3 was so good, and I cannot believe they canceled it like that. It's devastating. I just don't get it. I get it because Marvel's trying to get their stuff back, but like, this is not good. I mean, Iron Fist and Luke Cage were bad, so you can take those away, but Daredevil was good, and they took it away, and it's so, like, it's the best, probably the best Marvel TV show there is out there, and it was cast so well that I just don't get it. Moving on to Marvel Sony news, I finally saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I was gonna do a review video on it, but it came out so long ago at this point, like 2-3 weeks ago, that I feel like it's like not worth doing that, because I don't know who'd even watch it. But I loved it. Personally, I think this is the movie that Spider-Man Homecoming should have been. I loved all the characters. I thought that there was really something in this movie for everyone. If I have to nitpick on this film, I'd say the only problems I have were that like the first 5 to 10 minutes were so flashy that I thought I was going to pass out or have a seizure. Like, it's just, it was a little too much. It was too abrasive. And the only other thing was that Kingpin's like head was in the middle of his body, and he was just like so, I mean, he was so cartoony, but also like, I think that's what they're going for. There's no way that they're like, yeah, this is like a realistic looking dude, because that's not what it was supposed to be, and that's fine. And apparently as far as sequels go, they were going to make it revolve around Spider-Gwen and Spider-Woman and Silk. So that's interesting considering the fact that Sony was talking about making a Silk movie, but I think that had got canceled. Sony they're making their Spider-Verse movies, and I think that's fine as long as you keep like a Spider-Man type character. To be honest, the Spider-Verse has so much stuff that they can pull from, but it's hard to stay intrigued about a lot of it. That's just kind of the way it ends up being. Like, I had very small interest to see Venom. The only reason I would have wanted to see Venom was to make a video on it, and I never ended up seeing it. So it also just came out at a weird time that I just didn't have time to go see it. I don't know. People liked it. It was okay, but I don't know. I'll see it eventually, and I'll probably see some sequels for it, because that's just how I am. I'll see things that I really care of. This is the point of the video. We're now talking about DC. So hello, welcome if you skipped all the previous stuff. If not, if you're still here, hello. We're talking about DC now. I have a bit, like a tiny bit, I don't really have that much news. I'm sorry. I'd have more news if I like watched the DC TV shows or did anything like that, but I don't. But to be honest, I only watch the Marvel Netflix stuff. So I do want to start watching Gotham. I think this is the last season. My dad was really into Gotham, so yeah, I'll let you know if I end up watching Gotham. There's a new interview with Chris Pine about Wonder Woman 1984. I thought this movie was coming out this year, but it's coming out June 5th of next year. So that I had a whole thing written out about something competing with Dark Phoenix, and then I was like, well, it comes out in 2020. I'm just off. Initially I think it was supposed to come out in November of 2019. So that's why I was like, oh, it's moving to summer, so it's summer 2019. No, it's summer 2020. This takes place in the 1980s, if you cannot tell. I haven't kept up too much about what's going on. I ended up looking at, like I was Googling it to kind of look up for stuff to talk about. And I totally forgot that Kristen Wiig's playing Cheetah, so I'm very excited about that. But also the fact that there might be a bigger villain going on, which DC seems to like doing these like multi-villain fake-outs now, because they saw Black Panther. Don't come after me, but that's kind of how Aquaman is. But anyway, he said his role is dramatically different. So we can keep that up to whatever we think, but I'm interested, and I'm very excited for this movie, and I'm very sad that it's coming out in 2020 because I thought it came out in 2019, but it should be good either way, and I'm excited to see the sequel. I'm also excited, I'm glad that DC is kind of slowing themselves down, and only, like, I feel like they're not rushing as much as they did, because that's my main problem with Justice League, is that it was so forced and so rushed that they were not ready to make this movie, and then they just made it anyway. I saw Aquaman, that's the segue into that. I saw Aquaman at IMAX. That was incredible, like the IMAX screen, and like, I was like, oh my god, this thing's huge. Now I know if you go see something in IMAX, you sit all the way at the back, the screen was like 40 feet tall. It was insane. But I thought this movie was a step in the right direction for DC. It was fun and a good time. My thing with a lot of DC movies at this point is that I lower my expectations dramatically so that I'm not like nitpicking and annoyed with the movie. You know, I thought a lot of the dialogue was so tacky, but at the same time, it wasn't dark and broody like almost every other DC movie had been. And it didn't have too much of that, like, it didn't end in the dark, fiery CGI battle. There was CGI battle, but it wasn't dark, fiery, like, so much like that. There was a little bit on the ocean floor, but that didn't bother me as much as, like, Wonder Woman when she had that fight with Ares, because I just thought that was ridiculous. Because the rest of it didn't look like that, and it looked like it was tacked on. This at least looked like it was in the same universe, and it was, like, part of that. It made sense in the movie. I liked the villains. I thought, you know, yeah, like, he's crazy, but obviously, like, I'm an environmentalist, so that Ocean Master had a point there. But it's, obviously I don't agree with him. I'm not trying to wipe out the entire world. So, you know, that's that on that. Black Manta I'm excited to see in a sequel. I'm sure we're gonna see Arthur get his hand cut off. I'm sure we're gonna see Mera and Arthur get married, and she's going to become Queen of Atlantis, because that's what happens in the comics. I'm excited to see more about her powers, because, like, she's a, what is it? Hydrokinesis, I think is what it's called, so you can move water with your mind. Oh, she was so cool. I just love Amber Heard that, so I was very excited to see Mera. I have a Mera pop, actually. She's back there. She's under Wonder Woman. I was very excited to see her in this, and I love the costuming. Is so much better than the costuming in Justice League for those characters. It's just so much bright and so vibrant, and I think it really gave me a sense of wonder and joy that I didn't find in a lot of DC movies, that I'm glad to see, and I hope we keep this going forward. I think we will with Shazam, because it's very light-toned, and I think, you know, Shazam's gonna be, you know, corny and all that, but it's not going to be taking itself too seriously, which I genuinely appreciate in movies like this. So I'm very thankful. Shazam will be coming. I will try to get reviews up for those movies when they come out. You will definitely see a Captain Marvel vlog. You will definitely see a Captain Marvel review video, and thank you guys so much for watching. So if you like it this way, let me know if you like Marvel and DC together, or if you'd prefer Marvel and DC to be split, and we'll do that. As far as, like, the Fox properties go, those will fall into Marvel, especially since they're going to be taken over by Disney. And it doesn't really matter production companies, so Disney, Fox, and Sony will all be in a Marvel video together, because that's the properties that they are. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to me, leave me a comment below telling me which movie this year you're most excited for, or if it's Wonder Woman, it's the next year, you can tell me which movie you're excited for regardless. And I will catch you in my next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.